Charles, nicknamed Martel or Charles the Hammer in later chronicles, was the illegitimate son of Pepin of Herstal and his mistress, Alpida. By this period the Merovingian kings of the Frankish realm were rulers in name only. The burden of rule lay upon the mayors of the palace, who governed Austrasia, the eastern part of the Frankish kingdom, and Neustria, its western portion. Neustria bitterly resented its conquest and annexation in 687 by Pepin, who, acting in the name of the king, had reorganized and reunified the Frankish realm. Pepin's only legitimate surviving son was assassinated in 714. Pepin then died a few months later, leaving 3 grandsons, who were minors. Plectrude, his legitimate wife, had encouraged Pepin to name Theudold, one of the grandsons, to be his heir. Theudold, only 8 years old, was ruler, and Plectrude was to be the regent. However, since Neustria was still bitter about being annexed by Pepin, they refused to acknowledge Theudold as their new ruler. In 715, they proclaimed Ragenfrid as the mayor of Austrasia, leading to a 3-year civil war from 715 to 718. Since Charles was illegitimate, he wasn't in the will and had no claim to the mayorship. As a precaution, Plectrude imprisoned him so that he would not try and seize power. Charles escaped, and then went about seeking support from the Austrasian nobles. When he had their support, he proclaimed himself the mayor of Austrasia. After proclaiming himself mayor, he went to battle with the Neustrians and the Frisian, their Germanic allies. Charles was defeated at the Battle of Cologne in 716, because he did not have time to gather an army. He fled to safety to the Eifel Mountains, and he helped gather and train an army to help him wage war against the Neustrians. He then attacked the Neustrian army near Malmedy at the Battle of Amblev. He defeated them because of his well-trained army, which was larger than the one he had at the Battle of Cologne. The invasion of Hispania, and then Gaul, was led by the Umayyad dynasty, the first dynasty of Sunni caliphs of the Sunni Islamic Empire, after the reign of the Rashidun caliphs. The Umayyad Caliphate, at the time of the Battle of Tours, was perhaps the world's foremost military power. The great expansion of the Caliphate occurred under the reign of the Umayyads. Muslim armies pushed east across Persia and west across North Africa, through the late 7th century. The Umayyad Empire was now a vast domain, that ruled a diverse array of peoples. It had defeated and completely absorbed the Sasanian Empire, while also conquering much of the Byzantine Empire, including Syria, Armenia, and North Africa. The Battle of Tours took place on October 10, 732, somewhere between Tours and Poitiers. The location of the battle is estimated to be near the conjunction of the Claine and Vienne rivers in a relatively open plain with surrounding woodlands. The Umayyad army was estimated at roughly 20,000 to 25,000 strong, while Frankish forces may have ranged from 15,000 to 20,000. Charles was aware of the Umayyads' reliance on cavalry and general offensive tactics, so he set his forces up in a phalanx to repel their charges. He was also using mainly local levies and militias who were more comfortable fighting on foot, an ideal defensive tactic against cavalry charges. Fighting continued, until a rumor spread through the Umayyad camp that their baggage train was being ransacked by the Franks, causing panic and a breakdown of discipline. The Arab commander, Abd al-Rahman, was killed trying to re-establish control over his troops, after which Umayyad resistance appears to have dissolved. Some have argued that this brief conflict influenced the fate of Christian civilization in Europe. The victory at the Battle of Tours prevented Islam from spreading into Europe. This preserved Christianity for many centuries, because if the Muslims had won the battle, Western Europe might have become part of the Muslim Empire.